America's entry into World War I affected both Rochester's economy and its foreign-born population. The wartime demand for goods produced in Rochester created jobs and improved wages. At the same time, German residents were ostracized, and despite the city's large immigrant workforce, the use of foreign languages was forbidden for all public communications. After the Russian Revolution of 1917, striking foreign-born Bosch and Lomb employees, members of the Amalgamated Optical Workers, were warned by the mayor to avoid the so-called Bolsheviks, and the company refused to deal with the union. Kodak made employment contingent on signing a loyalty pledge.
As Rochester reverted to a peacetime economy, some industries, notably shoes and construction, fought union demands for improved wages with lockout and replacement workers. In clothing, however, labor and management realized that peaceful relations were to their mutual benefit. The prosperity of the Roaring '20s could be seen in many of Rochester's industries: clothing, machining, electronics, optics, and photography.
But the stock market crash of 1929 ended the illusion of good times. Within 3 months, some 20,000 Rochesterians lost their jobs, while others had their pay or work hours substantially cut. The crisis prompted a number of church and community organizations, including the Central Trades and Labor Council, the Community Chest, and Dorothy Day's Catholic Workers Movement, to coordinate assistance programs for the unemployed. In March 1930, idle workers demanded jobs at a peaceful gathering at Washington Square Park. Hundreds of people lined up daily to eat at soup kitchens run by local charities, including one offered by the Carpenters Union, which was staffed by union volunteers. To address hunger in the community, the city made 250 acres of land available for subsistence gardening. The federal economic recovery programs of the New Deal were designed to put people back to work by providing government-sponsored jobs. In January of 1933, 15,000 people registered for these jobs in Rochester, but only 1 in 4 found work. The Works Progress Administration funded local construction projects such as John Marshall High School, the Rundell Memorial Library, and the Veterans Memorial Bridge, limiting shifts to 6 hours so more workers could be hired.
In 1933, Congress passed a law formally giving workers, for the first time, the right to join unions and requiring employers to negotiate with them. Encouraged by the new law and with the support of President Roosevelt, who declared, "If I went to work in a factory, the first thing I'd do would be to join a union," workers flocked to the labor movement, and unions formed the Congress of Industrial Organizations, the CIO, to better accommodate workers in basic industry. In Rochester, the Amalgamated Clothing Workers immediately stepped up efforts to organize workers at Keller, Hoyman, Thompson, one of 2 area clothing manufacturers that continued to oppose unionization. When workers struck for union recognition, the company called in the police, who used tear gas against the strikers. The union's leadership called on Francis Perkins, U.S. Secretary of Labor, who provided gas masks from the War Department. The dispute was settled that summer when the company agreed to recognize the union and implement a 40-hour workweek. In 1937, a 3-day sit-down strike at Helloyd ended with recognition of the Amalgamated Photographic Supply Workers Union, an affiliate of the Amalgamated Clothing Workers. Several years later, Helloyd changed its name to Xerox.